So sometimes it is required that we run a VI from the command line, and also that VI may require some parameters, some inputs to its controls on its front panel to run properly. We can do that in LabVIEW, and in this video we will see how to call a VI and pass it parameters that it needs for its functioning programmatically, and we will see this how it is done in this video. So let's go and create our VI that we will be calling from the command line. Let's save this VI. Let's create a folder for it. Let's call this folder calling VIs from command line. Let's save this VI, call it command line called VI. So let's go and create its front panel. We will have a control a numeric control. Let's call it numeric. Then we will have a boolean. Let's take an LED, and let's have a string. And let's have an array of strings. Let's call it command line arguments. In this, let's hide its index display. Let's widen this string. Let's show more parameters. Let's align the objects. So let's go to the block diagram. So the first thing we will be doing is that we will get the command line parameters that are sent to this VI. For that we will use a property called application command line arguments. Let's show more text. By using name format and long names. So here we have the command lines that been sent to this VI. Let's do some error handling. And once we get those command lines, let's pass them to this front panel array. The first argument would be the LabView's executable name. Let's delete that first argument. After that, we will go through a for loop for parsing through whatever is left. So we will be sending those arguments in a certain string. I will show you those strings when we create the VI that will create the arguments, command line arguments that we will pass for launching this VI. For that, we'll use match pattern VI. We'll pass it the arguments passed to this VI one by one, and we will be looking for a colon, and we will use a case structure for passing the values. So we will need another copy of this match pattern, and we will send it the before substring to it, and we will be looking for a / because we will be sending the after substring to this case structure. Why? Because we have three controls indicators on the front panel. Let's change them to indicators, since we will be receiving values in it. And how will we know which indicator to fill? That we will be sending the name. We will be sending a string in the command line argument, and we will use fractional exponent string, and we will use this after substring. We will convert it to a number, and we will pass this number to this indicator. Next, we will go to the next case will be string. We will send this text through the command line, and we will just pass it along. And for the Boolean, we will first, since we can only send strings as command line, so we will use a function to lower case. We pass the received argument, command line argument, to a lower case, and we'll check for if that string is equal to true. Let's first connect this string so that this equal function knows which type of constant to produce. And if the string is true, whether it's uppercase lowercase, we convert it to lowercase and then check, and if it is true then we will turn on this boolean. So we are now done with coding this vi, and next we will proceed to the vi that we will use for creating the command line arguments. So before we close this command line called vi, let's make one change to it. We need to change its vi properties. Let's go to vi properties and let's go to execution, and we need to ensure that when this vi is called, it is run, since we will call it from the command line and not from labview directly. So let's turn this option on and OK, and then we can now close this vi. So now let's create our vi that we will use for generating the string that we will pass to the Windows command line. Let's save it. Let's call it command line string generator. Let's create its front panel, a numeric control, a boolean. Let's place let's say a boolean button. Let's call it boolean, and let's have a string control, and lastly we will have a string indicator where we will show the command line string. That we would be passing to the Windows command line terminal. So we are done creating the front panel. Next we will go and create the block diagram. So the first thing we need is the path to the lab view. For that, let's call property node. The first property that we need is application directory path. Where is LabView located? Let's change its name format to long names. And the second property that we need is the name of the application. That is LabView's name. We will use these two parameters to create a path. For that we will use build path function, and we will send it the LabViews folder and its name. So we will get the full path to the lab view. Next, we will use format into string function to create the command line argument. Next thing that we need is current VI's path. We will use this to create a path to the VI that we had already created. And we will use it we will use a relative path. Two dots will do. And we will pass this to the format into string. Next, we need to pass the three controls. First one is numeric control. Next one would be string. And the third one will be Boolean control. So let's create a format string. So the format of the command line would be in this order, that let's widen this string constant. So the order would be that we will first send the full path to the lab view. We have placed quotations so that if there is space in that path name, Windows can correctly interpret it. Next would place a space, then again quotation marks, %s. This is the complete path to the VI, command line VI, that we have already created. Next, we would be sending two hyphens. This will tell LabView that we are now passing some arguments. After that, we'll place a symbol for our call VI to know that we are now following this symbol, the /, with the name of the control in which we want to place the value. The colon will tell the called VI that now we are about to pass it some actual number. After that, the second argument for the second control, and for that, since it is string, we'll place it inside the quotation marks. the forward slash, then the name of the control, then the colon, and then the actual value that we want it to display, %s. We are placing the colon, semicolons, colons, quotation marks, so that we can also place strings with spaces in them. Next, and the last one would be boolean, then the colon, and then the %s. So, and we will also display this same string in this indicator. So we're done with the coding. So let's clean up the block diagram. Let's save this vi, Control S. Let's run it, but let's create some parameters. Let's turn it to true, and let's send it a string. Let's send it a string called let's say Java. Let's run the vi. It will create our command line string. Let's copy it. Let's launch command line. Press Win key R. OK. The command line launches. Let's paste our string here. Right click, press enter. LabView launches. Our vi launches, and with the correct strings. Let's close it. Let's close the LabView. Let's change the values. Let's regenerate the command line string. Let's copy it. Win key R. Command text, OK. Right click, that string gets pasted, press enter, and our vi launches correctly with new parameters pasted inside. Also, we can do the same thing without using this vi. Since we have already copied the string, we can just right click here and we can change the string right here. Let's change it to true. Let's change this language to, let's say, C#, and let's change the number to, let's say, 44. Let's relaunch, press enter. LabView again launches, initializes, launches our vi with the correct parameters. So this is how you can use command line parameters for calling a vi, launching it and setting its different controls with the given values. Thanks for watching.